I think I'll sit right here.
Yeah, that's what I heard. All right. Good.
President Reyes.
Do it. Do it. Oh, I'm scared. Hey, everybody's standing. Perfect. Perfect. Exactly what I was hoping for. And you're killing me with your thumb drive.
Nice.
Literally, you're killing me with your thumb drive. Well, there we go. So, hey, back there, Finn. I know you're here for Rotary. You want to lead us in the? Yeah, you can do this.
It's a four-way step.
Of the
Things we think, say, and do.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. It's final Friday today, so we'll go through. We'll do a little bit of a meeting, and then we'll put our final Friday to the end of it. So, recognitions. We're going to start figuring out how to get these things because Tomas sends a bunch of stuff to me, and I apparently don't look at it. So I'm going to take care of that. So if you have recognitions, please send them to us. Jumping, I realized what happened with my black slide. We probably have guests here, don't we?
Yes.
Yes, guests. So, guests.
My guest is Marty Coelho. He does the Coelho. I always mess up.
It's an interesting one.
I'm always messing up. It's been a couple of years. And he's going to be doing a short presentation for the Walk to End Alzheimer's, and he's on our PR, who does the PR for the committee.
Awesome. Guests.
We're from RCAS Interact.
Back table.
Darren Angle visiting from Tiburon. Tiburon?
You're definitely a guest.
Stand out top, new club, you guys all know that.
Everyone. That's it. We're good. All right. Let's move right into announcements.
I have one. Nick asked me to send this around. The Interact clubs are going to do a, well, it says here's an Ivy book, but it's actually non-native American eradication at Patrick's Point tomorrow from 10 to 2. And this is our chance to support the kids. They do all the work, we just support. See, we're not actually working this time, we're supporting. But there are some things that are needed. The primary things that really need is access to 2 barbecue grills. So like the perfect thing would be like a Weber because they're easy enough to pack and move. So if somebody has one we could use, we clean it up and get it back to you. Also kind of in support of after they work, we're going to feed them. So they're looking for chips, side dishes, drinks, desserts, anything else. So I'm going to send these around. If you happen to have some stuff that could help out with this, or you can help out with this, please just put your name down. Probably name. I would say name and phone number, so we make sure we know how to contact you. But you know, this is a way for us to kind of put the pedal to the metal and really, you know, show these young folks that are working hard how to support them. So I'll be there.
What time?
Be there.
What time do they need us?
If I would say be there by 1 because they're going to be cleaning. They might clean really fast, but about 1, 2 o'clock is when we're going to start really feeding them. So if you could be there by 1, that'd be helpful. If you want to do an Ivy pool, you're welcome to join us at 10, but it's not necessary. We really want to, when these kids come off of their working, we want to be there in force and show them that we're Rotary and we actually care. We're there to help them out.
Where are the park?
It's in the Patrick's Point State Park.
It's huge.
The Muscle Rock.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Muscle Rock.
And if you forget the Rangers, we're working with the Rangers, so at the box they'll be able to tell you, direct you where to go.
So kind of short in and out, we can support these kids.
Yeah. Let's feed them.
And bring a dish, bring a dish to
Bring a
share.
dish, bring something, be happy, and talk to the kids.
At risk of spoiling a surprise for Finn for a couple of years, we have a social gathering coming up for Finn and the inbound from the Noon Club, and I think, Claire, you're going to bring Jens from Mad River as well. We have a social, it's on the 10th of October. Claire, I'll need your help here because you've been organizing the whole thing.
It's on the 10th of October at Alberto's.
Where?
Alberto's house. We will we'll send out an email to let everybody know where and the time.
I think it's 6 p.m.
So watch for an announcement on that. Do a club socials.
All right. More announcements?
I'm sorry, what day and time is that? When is that happening?
October 10th at 6.
At our Arcata Arts Alive, which I think is going to be October 12th, there's going to be Arcata House is doing a fundraiser. It's being led by Julie Fulkerson and Alex Stillman, and they're looking for artwork and donations of artwork that they could sell to help support the Arcata House. And the showing is going to be over the fireworks building. So.
That's also the night of the ball gown event, right? So you get to go to Arts Arcada in a ball gown, right, Romy? Right. So you get to stroll in a ball gown, examine the artwork, and then enjoy wine and hors d'oeuvres here at the Plaza
Yes,
Grill.
sponsored by local businesses.
Yes.
City of Arcata, Arcata Police Department, Main Street, and all of us in fabulous attire are going to hopefully participate, and it is raising awareness for ending domestic violence.
So we can shop for art at the Fireworker Building in our ball gowns,
Yes.
stroll, and then enjoy the company of fellow Rotarians.
And I have 4 ball gowns. If you guys, you want to kind of call like Jeff, Bob, John, if you'd like to borrow them, I'm happy
Yes.
to give them to you.
Excellent.
Notice that she didn't say your name or my name, because she knows our collection.
You would be done to use it for
Did we mention tailgate?
No.
You're about to.
Go Jacks! So October 6th, and it's not the last football game, but it's the last homecoming of our Humboldt State's history. So we will tailgate from 4 to 6 down on one of the lower parking lot areas, and then kickoff is at 6. And we will barbecue, we'll have stuff to throw on the grill, dogs and burgers, and then we'll just have folks bring whatever beverages you want, no glass, and sides to share.
I mentioned it when I was at Rita's to Ed, the owner of Rita's, and he's going to come bring his Weber and also join us.
Oh my goodness!
Like Rita's food.
Rita's in the house, I love Rita's. More reason still to tailgate with us.
Perfect.
October 6th, Saturday, October 6th.
Fun.
If you have been feeling bad because your SWAT t-shirt does not have any paint on it, I have a solution for you. On Sunday morning, we're going to get together and we're going to paint the eaves over at Little House A, or also known as the Manila Community Resource Center, or whatever our little building is. So I think it's going to be about 9 o'clock. And if you could let me know today, that would be really good. Send me a text or an email or whatever and say that you can make it. We don't have much work. It's going to take 2 or 3 hours, but I could kind of plan my attack and have a strategy for doing all that if I knew how many people were going to be there. So, a ladder, and if you have some tools and stuff like that. So let me know today. Appreciate it. Thanks. Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
Time Sunday morning?
Like 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. All right. Other announcements? All right. moving on to some of these lovely photos. So, I may not have a lot of recognitions, I may not even have a lot of explanations for this because the people who sent them are all here. But there are definitely a couple cases where I did capture some people. So, AJ, would you like to talk about this because you seem to be the one here.
It was a good time. It was a beautiful day. Underneath that canopy, it was really cool, and we moved. There were some unauthorized trails. They wanted us to cover them up, so we had to move ferns from somewhere in the depth to the trails that we were on, and start some digging and getting your hands dirty. So it was a good time.
Nice.
A lot of good hiking in there.
Yes. Captured Howard. Of course, I didn't capture Howard today. All right. So I love this slide because Finn was really quick to get this to me this morning. So we're going to move from that to Finn. Theoretically. All right, we're going to load it again. Got this. There it is. And
Oh,
it worked.
So I talk another time about my last 2 weeks, and I like to start with the last weekend. The last weekend was Andreas' birthday on Friday. So on Friday we went to the beach. Yeah, it's on the next slide. But on Saturday on Saturday we went to Crescent City in the morning and went there for a redwood hike. So in the huge old redwoods it was really impressive to me because it's like you don't realize how huge the trees are when you're not standing in front of them. Like, oh, okay, and and after the hike, I think the hike was 5-7 miles long. After the hike, we went also in the evening to the beach at Crescent City and surfed a little bit, and it was really, really nice because the sunset was right behind the waves, and when you catch the wave, you could see the sunset. Yeah. And then this was on Friday, so we had a nice walk on the beach, and in the evening a nice dinner. And also we went on Sunday surfing again. And yeah, this was it. And on, I think, was it, what was it, Wednesday, we went after surfing to a Thai restaurant, and I think it was my first Thai meal, so it was really good. It was different to other food, but I really enjoyed it, and after surfing it was really, really nice. Good finish. That was my 2 weeks and 2 weekends.
Thank you, Finn. I'll even give you your thumb drive back. All right. Now, we're going to look at the screen that says Finn, because I like looking at the screen that says Finn. We really are going to look at the screen that says Finn. I'm going to try to introduce the Alzheimer's walk talk here. How about, Melinda, would you like to say, introduce your guest? Because I can't apparently figure out what I'm doing, and it's kind of fun. I just like sitting here poking at this and looking at it in front.
Well, this is Marty.
Hi, my name is Marty.
Marty. So we have the walk again this year, Walk to End Alzheimer's on October 13th. We may or may not have received the email, but it sounds like the fellowship committee is trying to make this a RISE event as well.
It's
Yeah, it is, it's good, okay, it's done. You guys are going. It's free to register, so it's actually just, even though it's a kind of a, grim subject, it's actually a really fun event. There's lots of hope, and a lot of people get excited, and I know Romy will probably be on board with this, but the theme is purple, obviously, and so we have people that'll dress up in tutus, or Rotary can do something exciting, but it's at 9 on October 13th. And Marty will talk more about it. But I also put down on the table, because Rachel and I, we lost both our grandparents to Alzheimer's. So we've been involved in it the last 3 years. And this year we have a huge team. And Humboldt Cider Co. is doing Ciders for Nonprofits for us on October 9th. So I put a flyer on some of the tables too if you guys want to come and support. And we're doing a big raffle. So drinking is not required, although I know that's what you guys will do. But there is a raffle, so if you want to just come and do the raffle, that's too. But anyways,
Do we have a team?
You do not. Tammy we emailed you guys to see which email she needs to use to set it up, so if you guys just want to let her know, it doesn't matter what email, because once the team captain sets it up, whoever's going to be the team captain, then you can register from just join team. It's super easy to register, so each member can do that. But she got the email last night, so not everyone probably.
So we'll get her link to the teams.
Yeah. Or you can start a new one.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you folks giving me some time this morning and learning more about the walk. The walk is October 13th, so it's only a couple of weeks away. It's the third year of the event, so it's still small and growing, but it has become quite passionate. Why is it passionate? We found out this year we have 3,000 people in Humboldt and Delaware counties that have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. That is staggering. You don't hear about it, do you? Mostly the caregivers are just frankly trying to take care of their loved ones that have the disease. The other stat that changed this year, which was very remarkable, was that last year Alzheimer's was the 5th leading cause of death in California. It is now number 3. It's an epidemic, folks. People still aren't talking about it. I don't know why. But we will do our best to educate as many people as fast as possible. Essentially, we're living longer because we are healthier. We made progress against many of the diseases, cancer, diabetes, heart disease. As we live longer, the odds of us getting Alzheimer's increase. 1 out of 3 people who are 65 are going to get Alzheimer's. And if you live to 85, you're either going to have it or take care of someone who has it. You are not going to escape this. It is coming. So I do this as a sense of urgency because it shows up when you least expect it. And it hit my family just a couple months ago. My wife happened to send out an email asking for funds from one of her relatives. And at first, she wasn't going to ask her to give. They're financially very strapped. But the email went out through Facebook, and it hit everybody, and so it hit this relative. And within 5 minutes, we found out her husband's been battling Alzheimer's for the last 10 years. And she hadn't told anyone in the family. She just dealt with it herself. That's what happens. There's just not the resources in place to battle this disease. But there is hope on the horizon. At an international conference this summer, 2 major breakthroughs happened. A drug that eliminates some of the plaque and tangles developed in a human's brain that prevents the synapses from functioning properly. That's what causes Alzheimer's. They've been trying to develop a drug that would eliminate some of the plaque and tangles. 100 years, no progress. We now have a drug entering its 3rd trial that actually eliminates some of the plaque, restoring 30% of cognitive functioning. That's huge. That has not happened before. But this is exactly what the researchers have been telling us, is the science we have today can cure most of mankind's diseases. The only thing stopping it, they don't have the money. So every 100 research study proposals that are on their desk, they can fund 2. The cure is there for just about everything that ails us. We just don't throw the money towards the diseases like we should. And then we complain about the consequences of having to continuously battle these diseases. So the other major breakthrough is fascinating because there's been speculation that people's lifestyle and diet impacted Alzheimer's. They created 2 trial groups of Alzheimer's patients. One group had to keep their blood pressure at around 140, another group at 120. Halfway through the study, they had to stop the 140 group because the 120 group was showing such great improvement, 19% gain in cognitive functioning, they thought it was unethical to continue the 140 group. So it really was the first scientific study to show that lifestyle and diet impacts Alzheimer's. They think 1/3 of dementia is preventable, 1/3. But every major disease we're fighting right now ties back to the fact we don't exercise like we should and we don't eat like we should. So whether you're battling cancer, diabetes, heart disease, it all comes back to the same thing. So why participate in the walk? Hope, support, raising valuable research dollars. October 13th, down at the Adorni Center. It starts at 10 o'clock. You can register in advance, just Google Humboldt County Walk to End Alzheimer's, or just show up the day of the event, register between 10 and 11, opening ceremonies between 11 and 11:30, and then the walk starts off at 11:30. We circle Halverson Park, Old Town, and the boardwalk. You're done by 1 o'clock. You got the rest of the day. And just supporting the people that really need the support. So last year we had a gentleman show up who had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's 2 weeks before. And he was lost. He's on our committee now. So him and his wife are helping out. So people show up and have heard and have not told anyone. And having us there to support them may be the only support they're going to get. I also make a plea to everyone to really support the Humboldt Senior Resource Center and their caregiver programs, and the fact that they have a daycare program in place for Alzheimer's patients. They also have something over at Mad River Hospital that is similar. So it's important to continue supporting those organizations as well. Any questions? Yes.
What about the genetic factor that I've heard about?
Genetic factor for Alzheimer's is only around 5%. So you can see a family where an uncle got it, a brother got it, mom and dad got it, no genetic link. So it's very strange how it works that way. Where you might see that in cancer being very prevalent, for a lot of the cancers is not so much in Alzheimer's.
I just did a 23andMe genetic test, and they had said that I have a marker, predisposition for it. So that came up. So
interesting.
So yeah, I was kind of curious about that because they're linking. They're not saying that it's happening. It depends on lifestyle, as they're saying. But have a
So you may have the genetic marker for it.
Yeah.
So the recommendation for that, I'm talking to obviously medical staff instead of me, is they have shown that those folks that stay socially engaged, engage their brain, exercise and eat right, blah, 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 all the stuff we've heard, right? It actually works. So the fact you're part of Rotary is a really good thing.
I just wanted you coming.
Other questions?
Insurance. Are the insurance companies doing what they ought to help pay for care providers and that kind of thing? Or are they?
You know, that's a good question. I honestly don't have enough background to answer that one. I can only speculate at this point. There is a bill currently in front of the Senate for $440 million of additional research. I'm sure once we get through the drama of this week and the drama of next week, eventually it'll get signed and we can get something accomplished. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we have to get this out of the way really quick. The raffle. Raffle.
Yeah, what am I doing?
Us, you have here. And we always need to get this out of the way first because there's money tomorrow.
I'm going to watch Romy do this so I know how to do this next time. I just took money. I just took the money.
You're not supposed to tell the whole group you just took the money.
I took the money. I'm sorry. They don't pay teachers enough.
You didn't buy the tickets.
481363.
All right, Greg.
They pull them all out of the blue bag.
Oh, here, and I'll have Greg take the next one.
The blue bag.
$5. Alrighty, thank you. It's total next person.
It's written on the walls.
Alright. And it is 327. Last four numbers 327. Is that you again, Craig? 327. Hey, Jay.
Yes.
Use ball. Higher than that. Ooh, yeah.
You want to know? I can know.
Okay.
Just so everyone knows, Taste of the Holidays tickets are up front. So
just cross off your name when you take yours, and it'll have a name on the envelope. If you definitely can't sell them, try to sell them, but if you can't, then return them so we don't have to pay for more printing. And then return everything, unsold tickets and money to Brian, and then he'll update me for the spreadsheet.
Also, if you can't sell them, buy them and give them away.
yes.
Yeah, we've already had several members of this club buy theirs so they could just give them away or sell them to their friends.
Actually, we can do that. We could actually do it right this minute. Nick, do you have a square?
I sure do.
Do we have a line?
Cash your credit cards to them.
Line up behind Romy.
All right. So we need to keep things moving.
Right here, right here. Buy your tickets, buy your 10 tickets.
So the thank you to this week for the Rotarian of the Week goes to Melinda, because you're like, why? What did I do? You kind of made sure some email things worked. You ended up getting us an extra speaker here, so thank you. So this is just a little thing that I'm going to throw up before we start our foundation. I think that this is great because Allie was the last case of smallpox in the world, and he became a World Health Organization spokesman to battle polio. He died 5 years ago, so he isn't going to get to see the last case. But let's see that last case happen. Let's be done with this, because it's interesting to talk about, and it's great to have a cause, but let's not make this our cause. This is something that should go away. And it's fantastic that this happens and people get behind it. And we're all behind it. So I'll keep this here to read for Final Friday.
Yay. So we have the once and future auctioneer. Bobby said he'd come back and help us this time, so that's good. He retired. He's the auctioneer emeritus. And before we get started on Final Friday, I want to give a shout out to what Marty said about Humboldt Senior Center in Eureka. I've been taking my friend Janet there because she's lost her eyesight. And the place is a hub of amazingness. You know, they have lunch, and they have the Lighthouse of the North Coast, which helps people with their eyesight issues. And the woman who runs the Lighthouse, Janet Pomerantz, has not only done home visits with my friend Janet. She's an MSW, so she's helped her with the emotional issues around it. She has organized a woman, Debbie, who lost her eyesight when she was 13, and now she's in her 40s, and she's helping Janet learn to do voice activation on her iPad. It's an amazing place, so I really do. I support Humboldt Resource Center, and I thank you for bringing it up. I know they do a lot. And most of us in the room, at least over half of us, are eligible to go and have a really inexpensive and tasty lunch there, too, every day.
All right, everybody ready? Let's take a deep breath. Just wave our arms down, kind of get loose. Come on, let's see it. Yeah,
all right. So we're going to start with, even though I'm a cat person, not a dog person, I really love this. Linda Moore brought it. It's a dog basket. It's got a little mat. It's got, you tell us, it's got some toys.
Oh, it's got everything your dog needs. Everything. 2 choices of food. Cleaning.
Cleaner-uppers.
Yeah, the bags for taking walks.
Oh, more cleaner-uppers. And
There's
there's
toys.
And there's cabin pull toys and chew toys. So this is really very cute.
All right.
Actually used for people who don't have dogs.
Great, at your house, you should buy that.
Okay, great.
Okay. Do we have a $100 bid? We're gonna start at $100. $100 bid. How about 50? Is there 50? I've got 50 back in the corner. Is there $60? $60. $50. I got 60 right here from the box. 60. Is there 70? $70?
I don't think the basket is for the box. I think the basket is
Okay, I've got 70. Is there 80? I have a $70 bid. Lori Breyer. Is there $80? $70 out there? Lori, you got a dog in the neighborhood?
I have a grand dog.
Okay. I have 80. I have 80.
So you have 90 now.
90.
You just outbid me.
Okay, cool. Way to manage things. I got 90. Lori, how about $100? You can probably, I've got 100. $100 bid out there, $100. Going once, going twice, sold. Lori Breyer.
Okay, so this is called Terry's Travel Treats Point 2. This is from Australia, and I am not a beer drinker, but my husband is. And one day when we were in Australia, we took a boat and then a bus to get to this brewery, the 4X Brewery, which is really quite lovely. And I usually drink 2 beers a year, so I had one there. And I'm done now. And anyway, it was really nice. So I brought a little cooler bag. It holds a 6-pack. I bought, what are these called? A 4X koozie. And then I went to the grocery store and I just bought candy in Australia that I haven't seen before. So these are kind of like little Mounds bars, only white chocolate. The world famous Tim Tams from Australia. My personal favorite, Maltesers, yum. And for the savory part, some Australian mustard. So this is a little travel treat.
Triple X. Is there a
No, 4. It's 4X.
You can bonus X.
Triple X.
$100 bid.
It didn't fit in the suit.
$50 bid. I've got $50. Is there 60? $50. $50 bid here. I have 60. Is there 70? Is there 70? I've got $60. I have 60. Looking for 70. $60. Going wide. I've got $70 now. I have $70. Is there $80? $70. $70 going once. $70 going twice. Sold right here, John.
Somebody else has to carry this around. This is from John Richmond. It is Lacey's Ultimate Gift Basket. Lacey's Cookies, Italian Roast Coffee, Monastery Honey, Scandia Tuna, Humboldt Hot Sauce, Humboldt Chocolate Bigfoot Bar. Nobody's carrying it?
I have $100.
Carry it this way.
Yeah, you do.
Mazzotti salad dressing, Roy's pasta, Smoke and Jim's barbecue sauce, Manhurter jam, Diane's sweet pea, and some smoked salmon jerky.
Okay. Easily worth $100. Is there $100? Is there $100 out there? I have 100. Is there $110? 110. 110. I have $100 looking for 110. Ray, you want me to hold that so you raise your hand?
Where's the 100?
I've got 100.
Oh, it's there.
Okay, let me help you. All right, yeah. Anything more than $100? I have 110. I have 110. In, you're out. I have 110. I have 120. 120, 130. I have $130 bid. 130. Good job, you guys over here getting it going. $130. Jacking up Ian's. $130. Is there any more out there? 130.
Somebody will help you.
$130. Going once, going twice. Sold. really upset, and it was the Lacey's cookies. I looked over here, and there's some more Lacey's cookies.
So this is Melinda. It's called Night Out. There is wine. There's a gift certificate to the Carter House for $50. And there are dilly beans that were just canned by her fair hand earlier this month. No more?
Yeah, so, well, these are $650 dilly beans.
Very expensive.
The story behind that is, if you guys went to the spring fundraiser, there was, for the silent auction, my mom's canning room and live auction was donated, so there was a session for 4 people to make, do the canning session. And so Tomas and my boyfriend bid on it, and it was $650. So we just did it 2 weeks ago, and it was actually my first time making dilly beans, which is bad because my mom, I could do it for free anytime, but $650, you gotta make it. So they were priceless. So.
Okay, in addition to that, we have the gift certificate, $50 Carter House, and this bottle of wine. Is there a $100 bid? Is there $100? Is there $50? How about $50?
We missed $100.
Oh, I see. You're being really coy. So, Julia, what is it I have? I have $100. Is there $120? $120? How about $100? Yeah, I'll take 110 right here.
You don't have to take the 120.
All right.
That's fine. I'll
Okay.
120.
120.
120 right there.
Okay. Is there 140? I have 120. 140 out there? How about 130? I'd go 130. I have 130. That was the thing. So, sir.
Oh, I've got my eyes on something. I'm just
Okay,
trying to
all
figure it
right.
out.
You're doing good. I have 130. Is there anything above 130 out there? Just shout it out. Just 130 going once, going twice. So by your Yes, they are.
So we have a bottle of Robert Goodman Cabernet Sauvignon. You want to tell us about this, Mr. Goodman?
It's a 2004 Napa Cab from Hal Mountain, from the Beatty Ranch grapes. It's a wine that I have in some top restaurants in San Francisco and one here. I like drinking.
All right, the winemaker says he likes drinking it. So is there a $100 bid out there? I have $100. How about 50? $50. Goodman Cabernet, $25. I have 25. Is there 30? 25. I have 30. Is there 40? How about $40? I have 40. How about 50? $50. $40. $40 out there looking for 50. I have 50. Is there 60 now? Is there $60 out there? $50. $60 bid? No go. $50 going once, twice. I have $60. Table in the back. With the winemaker. $60. Is there 70? $60. $60. Going once, going twice, sold.
Last month, Cam Appleton brought his big fish cooler, and I bought it and took it home, and it's been fabulous, and we're lucky to have another one this month, but from Craig Newman. So there are 20 packages of fish and all in that cooler right over there. There's picked crab, there are halibut fillets, there's Pacific halibut, California halibut, lingcod, vermilion, rockfish, king salmon fillets, that's all frozen, and then there are 3 packs of smoked salmon that's not frozen.
Okay.
And he would just like to get the cooler back.
Yeah, but if you want your deposit, put the cooler back, right? Okay, big fish package. Who likes fish? Fresh fish. Everybody likes. Oh, mine's tough.
Everybody likes fish.
Okay, everybody likes fish. You know, it'll keep your brain all lubed up, I think.
Yes. Omega-3s, all those fatty acids are so good for you.
Absolutely. Okay, is there a $100 bid? Fish, I got 100. I got 110. I have 110. $110. Is there 120? I got 120. Is there 130? 120. 130. 130. Right here. 130. 140. 140. Is there 150? I've got 140. 140. 150. 150. Is there 160? 160? We might be getting close. I have 160. 160. Is there 170? Ah, big sigh from Nick. 160. Is there 170 out there? Why have 170?
I can't figure this. It's so much fish. I can't lift it.
170. Is there 180? 180. I have 180.
Wow.
Is there 190? Come on, we're getting close to 200. That'd be really fun. 190? 190. I have $180 right now. 180. 180. 190.
Bounty of the sea.
There's 190. So, $200. Jessica, yeah? $200. She's out. Okay, 200. Oh, no! That was a positive nod. I have $200 for the fish. $200. $200. Is there 210? 210. I can read $200. $210. Is there 220? 220. I got 210. 210. 210. Going once. Going twice.
You see this? Look, bounty of the sea. Try it.
Sold.
Okay, so Matt, where's Matt? You're up.
I'm here. Want me to talk about that?
I do.
I'll talk. So anyway, that is an original charter night invitation, and it had the little ribbon on it until her cat took it away. But and it was kind of fun because my ex gave that to me about a month ago, saying, "Look what I found." I go, "God, I remember that night." She goes, "Yeah, I remember after going with that, meeting all your friends, I decided you weren't such a loser because you were surrounding yourself with good people." I'm like, "Wow, thank you." You know. So anyway, there it is, and I thought somebody would want to buy it, like maybe like Bob Johnson would buy it and like frame it, stick it.
You said it was unopened, but clearly it's not unopened.
It was unopened. Her cat opened the ribbon. Trust me, I gave it to her with a red ribbon.
I had a ribbon, the cat was like, ribbons are for me. So this was from March 28th, 1992, probably before you were born, way before you were born, and before these were born too. So anyway, it was the last century, our charter night, our original.
Last copy left.
And how many people?
Who knows? Things like that can pop up. You know.
No. How many people in the room were at that event?
There we go. Wow.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure.
Dick Johnson, how you didn't get into, you were referred to as our friend from Belmont.
I was a visiting Rotarian that day.
From Belmont.
Yep.
I know.
I was begging and pleading, let me in this club, please.
I'm not gonna leave. And of course, the rest is history. Okay, who needs a piece of history anyway? $100 bid out there, $100, $100.
She's gonna buy it back.
I have 100. Is there 120? I have 120. You really want it, Scotty?
Bid yourself up?
Okay.
Don't argue with people who are bidding.
Wait a minute, who's raising his hand?
I'm going to go 120.
Yes!
120. 120 going once, going twice, sold to me. But I can give it to Scotty.
And give it back to the club.
Okay. So,
Lacey's are back.
So this is from Brandy, and there's jam, there are pickles, there are dilly beans, and there are the world famous Lacey's Lacey's cookies.
Oh.
So,
all right, Lacey's are back, dilly beans are back.
Dilly beans are only $500 a jar.
These are $500.
Yeah, they're listed 500.
So I too love canning. It wasn't a $650 deal, but I made the huckleberry jam last night. The plum jelly is from plums from Bayside, and the pickles are from Shively. The beans, Costco. But anyway, and then Lacey's is a client who is extremely generous, always gives me more than so I'm paying it forward. And so you got the variety tab.
Okay, thank you. We won't auction them now.
More beans.
Very good. Okay, new basket, new stuff. Is there a $100 bid out there? $100. Scotty, are you shaking your pen?
Shaking my pen.
Okay, all right. $50. Is there a $50 bid? I have 50. Is there 60? I have 50. $50. This is a great deal, folks. $50. Bayside plums, you say. I have $50. Is there 60? $60, $60, $50. I have 60. I have 60. Is there 70? $60. Is there a $70 bid? $60. $60 out there. $60. 70. Looking for 70. $60. Going once. Going twice. Sold to Brother Dick Jones.
And we have, you want to tell us about this?
This is a ready-to-bake apple pie. So put it all together last night, and yes, I make my own crust and everything. So it's all there.
Does it have the great crust thing on the top?
I don't. You know what? My crusts are ugly, but they're delicious. I made enough good-looking, crappy crust in my life.
You don't want to look at it.
Yeah. So it's just smooth. But apples from my parents'
Bake it at
tree
350 for.
until it's golden brown on top. I don't time things. I don't even look at the temperature.
Spoofs over and gets
Way
to the
to
bottom
sell
of your
the
oven.
Yeah,
Way to
yeah.
sell the look.
No,
All right.
Pies are popular in Ferndale. Give them away to a lot of people.
Okay. All right. Just close your eyes and take a bite. Who's in? $100. $100. Foster pie. $50. $50. I have 50. I have 60. I have 70. $70.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is.
$70. I have $70. Is there 80? Is there $80 bid out there? $80. $80. $70 going once. $70 going twice. Right here at John Golem, I believe. You look surprised. Okay. All right.
Like what?
Nick, get that old square out here. Where are you going?
Right.
Yeah. So.
And so everybody who is a successful bidder can either write a check or give me cash, I'll send it to the foundation, or run it through the square and I'll get a check from Brian. So there we go.
And again, you can buy your tickets on the square and it gets ready and waiting.
Don't model events just now.
Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, double up. So this is from Shannon, who couldn't be here, but in response to my email, she said, where I offered to come and fetch it, I fetched it from her office yesterday. So there are fire and light glasses, there is liquor, there's a shaker, there's this really pretty wood cutting of trails, there's beef jerky, there are coasters, there's a Redwood Capital Bank bag and t-shirt, it's the whole.
Wow. My argument on this is the pirate booty, there's the Humboldt treasure map.
There you go.
There's some coins in here, there's 2 bottles of non-rum hooch, but well, you know, it's good. Glasses, there's all kinds of stuff. It's a treasure trove. You don't even need the map to find it.
Thank you, girls. How about a hand for the interact girls? Come back soon. Okay. Is there a $1,000 bid? It's a nice basket. It's really a nice basket. $100. Is there $100 out there? I've got 100. Is there 120? $100. 120. $120 bid. I got 120. I got 120. Is there 140? $140. Nice big basket. 140? 140 out there. I have 120. 120. 120. Looking for 140. 140. They're looking. They're looking.
Oh, read the cup.
120.
Wait, read the cup.
No, you need to read it, right? We'll see why. This will make it all the more valuable.
Bitch, please. I'm from
Is there comments? They're like, bitch, please.
All I have to say is when I learn to read, I'm going to tell you what that cup says.
120. Is there one? I don't.
Oh, come on.
I think I got 120.
Yeah,
140.
you got the line.
140. Is there 160? 160. 140. We're back on track, people. Come on.
Come on.
160.
Are you?
I got 160. How about 180? 180. 180 out there. Is there 180? We got the square, and it won't even hurt until you get your next credit card statement. 180. I got 160. 160 going once, going twice sold. What a great auction today.
So we just raised $1,110. Thank you very much.
We get this polio thing knocked out, we will definitely turn around.
Sorry.
Rachel.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
Ray, you're shiny now.
I am shiny. Oh. I think this is the point where I'm supposed to look at you and say, bitch, please. Well, I was trying to get to my today's quote, but I had decided that technology is dead to me. So instead, my quote for the end of the day, maybe I should just stick with the quote I already had.
did it.
I think the quote is done. We're just going to call it that,